Space is deep, expansive, and vast. Space is a universe of endless possibilities, opportunities, and discoveries. Vanessa was a spry and constantly productive young woman until that day. On a tranquil autumn day in 1995, 20-year-old Vanessa Erickson sat outside on the front porch of her suburban home, tugging the neckline of her sweater while absorbing the sensation of the breeze. Suddenly, she noticed something peculiar. The skies had shifted from that bright blue with white puffy clouds to ominous purple clouds marching across a blushing sky. Mesmerizing streaks of violet clouds, indigo shadows, and lavender highlights filled the horizon. The simplicity and transparency of this atmosphere created an aura of unease and bewilderment. There she stood, encompassed by her environment's shimmering and mystical ghastliness. Vanessa had always been one to lose her sense of reality with her wandering thoughts and never-ending loop of intricate ideas. She put down her armor and embraced what felt like a fever dream. Vanessa had lived a relatively mundane life up until now, other than her unique trauma. She had a full-time job and was saving up to move out of her parents' house. She had a strong desire to help or guide others in whatever way she could. She was also an incredibly determined and compassionate individual. Despite the trauma, she was resilient and remained optimistic. She'd been physically assaulted, betrayed, and left to die by a former friend. She was wary of every potential relationship after that. Vanessa lived with her 17-year-old brother Henry, who was one of her best friends, and her loving parents, Sarah and Josh Erickson. She lived in a small Vermont town, Vendettaville, with an unusually low population. Everyone who lived there had this odd relationship with one another. The way everyone interacted was far from the norm. Everyone knew everything about each other, but no household had a real relationship with another household. There weren't any authentic friends in this externally run-of-the-mill town, but everyone shared everything. Anyone looking from the outside would find this community to be offbeat and uncultured. Vanessa found her entire atmosphere to be typical, because that was all she had ever known. On this day, this tiny town was almost completely vacant. Vanessa soon realized she was in a ghost town, and she felt like the ghost. Henry was participating in a soccer tournament out of town, and both Sarah and Josh went with him. Vanessa decided to take this as an opportunity to relax and unwind with some me time. Every one of Vanessa's neighbors, who aren't really her neighbors, as in this town, a wide distance separated each house, seemed to have some plan out of town that day. Whether it was an arbitrary party or a spontaneous road trip, every resident had an obligation outside of town on that day, and that was just plain weird. It wasn't a holiday, not anyone's birthday, and no significant events were happening in anyone's family. Every minuscule piece of news, any moment of drama, anything and everything spread around that miniature town, so Vanessa would have known if any events were occurring that day, and she knew that there weren't. That day was nothing overtly special, so it was simply strange that Vanessa was the only person present in this town on this seemingly random day. Vanessa didn't want to think anything of it because she knew she would overthink and panic if she were to deeply ponder about the reason for the emptiness. Around dusk, Vanessa journaled on her porch, which was an average activity for her, especially when the weather was comforting. She used writing as an outlet to express her feelings and thoughts, and doing it benefited her in her struggles and trauma. Autumn was also her favorite season, and journaling outside, encircled with nature's wonders, certainly enhanced her creativity. While physically alone with her racing thoughts, as well as emotionally lonely, she was writing about how she had this looming fear that she was going to be abducted, harmed in some way, or something bizarre was going to happen in the near future. It was irrational. Maybe it was merely her crippling anxiety at a peak, until she looked up at the sky and felt this debilitating worry overcome her mind and body. She hyperventilated before calming herself with box breathing. Space is so diverse. The universe contains so much that is unknown and yet to be discovered. Vanessa loved looking deep into the variety of fascinating wonders in the sky. She loved sunrises and sunsets. She adored using her disposable camera to photograph those idyllic skies. She was always curious about the unknown and what other beings could possibly be beyond our planet. The gentle breeze gradually transformed into a wild windstorm. Vanessa soaked in the cool sensation for a minute, then decided that she wanted to go inside and settle down in her bed. As Vanessa gathered her belongings from the front porch and made her way inside the house, she heard a faint screeching noise. The noise sounded like a formation of words, but she couldn't make out what those words were. Her feelings of distress began to rise rapidly as the initially faint screeching steadily became louder and closer. She looked around with concern. She bit her nails down to the quick. She was mortified, but her curiosity was palpable. While high-pitched and difficult to discern, Vanessa pieced together random words that she heard like a jigsaw puzzle. She heard more, careful, freedom, trapped, traitor, and mad. But the word that stuck out to her most was revenge. She was at a total loss and simply could not understand what this whole situation meant for her. She had never been so frightened in her whole life. Yet it was the kind of tension and borderline hysteria that was so evocative that she couldn't look away. Revenge was all that was replaying inside of Vanessa's brain. She couldn't think of a logical reason why some strange force or being would seek revenge on her. There was no one she could tell and no one who could help her, and because she was alone, there was no other rational target, or at least that's what Vanessa thought. The screeching grew louder and became unbearable, and Vanessa's curiosity was trumped by her desire to feel protected. With self-preservation on her mind, she bolted inside the house and slammed the front door shut. As soon as she went back inside, she was greeted with something that she never expected to witness, nor wanted to witness. Vanessa was drenched in sweat, her forehead scrunched, and her face was as red as a tomato, when suddenly she let out a piercing and genuinely terrorized shriek. Suddenly, her world went black. Vanessa woke up in an unfamiliar vehicle. The interior was disheveled and dark, smeared with dirt and grease. She was trapped and claustrophobic, wheezing with anxiety. Her torso and legs were taped down on the floor of this vehicle. Suddenly, a gigantic creature entered and approached her. This creature was violet, like the sky, with a golden brindle pattern encompassing its body. It had 3 eyes, 3 arms, and 3 legs. It seemed rather uncomfortable to Vanessa to have to live in this body. Its teeth were sharp and pointed like a shark. Vanessa was internally squeamish at its presence, but she concealed her emotions. She had taken acting classes her whole childhood, and now that was finally going to pay off. The creature mumbled those words Vanessa had heard earlier, in a different order. Careful, traitor. I am mad. I want freedom. I am trapped. I want more. I want revenge. Vanessa furrowed her eyebrows in confusion. What do you want from me? The creature looked at her, tilted its head, paused for a moment, and slapped her across the face. It wasn't an earth-shattering slap, but enough to shake Vanessa. Vanessa gasped and recoiled. Can I ask what that was for? You, traitor, I seek revenge, the creature said. I didn't do anything. You've got the wrong girl. Nonsense! Vanessa, startled, jolted back. Can you explain, please? The creature looked at her as if to say, you know I cannot explain this coherently. Yeah, all right. Well, can you try to explain why I'm the one trapped in this fiasco? And why do you want revenge? You have father who killed my father, the creature boldly stated. What? Vanessa is taken aback. My father, Dr. Robert Williams, slain by Dr. Josh Erickson. Vanessa's father was a scientist, specifically working on aliens in outer space. Vanessa looked around in a panic. What are you talking about? Dr. Williams took care of me. Your father got rid of him. I came to avenge his death by slaying Dr. Erickson. He was not here, so I got next best thing. Vanessa gulped. Great. Wrong place, wrong time. Of course this happened to me. Well, I think this is just a misunderstanding, Vanessa said. Silence! Vanessa jolted her head back and inhaled sharply. No misunderstanding here. Unless your father come to save you now, you are dead, the creature stated. Okay, well, from what I know, Dr. Williams had this whole plan to overpopulate the world with... Vanessa hesitated. Creatures. The creature's visible anger grew with heavier breaths and squinted eyes. I had no idea that my father did anything to him, though. I swear. You must believe that I had neither any idea about this nor anything to do with it. I don't care. You will meet your demise now. The creature lurched toward Vanessa, hands up, claws out, ready to attack her. Wait, Vanessa screamed, holding her hands over her face. What if I could find you a new father? The creature backed up and tilted its head. No one can replace Dr. Williams. I know that. I'm not looking to replace him. I'm looking to... perpetuate his legacy. All right, the creature mumbled. My father's colleague, Dr. Timothy Littlepage, would love to take you on. I know he would. I do not want any friend to Dr. Erickson as my father. Please, just trust me. Vanessa held out her hand as a war treaty. A bright light draped over the town. The skies transformed back to sky blue with bright white clouds. It was like a new era had begun. The creature took Vanessa's hand. Okay. The creature nodded and removed the tape from Vanessa's body. Vanessa exited the vehicle to reveal she had been in her yard the whole time. The exterior of the vehicle revealed a spaceship. Vanessa stared at the sight in awe. Her family pulled up in their tan sedan moments later. Vanessa! Oh, darling! Sarah exclaimed, running over to her daughter and grabbing her face. What the hell? Henry questioned, looking at the spaceship. Care to explain, father? Vanessa asked Josh. It's a long story, Josh said. Yeah, well, wish Timmy luck. He's gonna need it, said Vanessa. Josh looked at Vanessa, perplexed yet impressed. The creature flew back to outer space on its raggedy spaceship. As it flew past the town sign, it read, formerly Vendettaville, now Vivaciousville, Vermont. The end.